Hi, and welcome again to another episode of Techy and Cyberaware. Today, we're going to be talking about compliance assessment using the Microsoft 365 environment. Right here on my screen, I'm signing into my Microsoft 365 environment where I already have required permissions and access to perform the role of a compliance manager. And now that I am signed into Microsoft 365, I'm going to launch the security portal, which is Microsoft Purview, reached at purview.microsoft.com. Since I'm setting up for the very first time, it's going to take a process to set up the entire application. So just clicking next and walking through the pop-ups that should come up on the screen. Next thing is to select solution, compliance manager. Under that, it's going to take a while to set up the compliance manager since it is the first time that we'll be using it. So while it's doing that, we can see the pop-up screen saying welcome to the compliance manager. So we'll click through until that pop-up screen is gone. Right here on my screen it says my compliance score is 0%, which is totally understandable being the first time that I will be working through this particular service. Now my setup is complete. The next thing I want to do is select solutions. So basically what we want to do here is set up a compliance assessment for ISO 27001. So under solutions, I'm selecting assessment. I'm going ahead to create a new assessment. So when I create add assessment, I fill in the required fields by first going ahead to select the regulation, and in this process the regulation we want to select is the ISO 27701. So I'm filtering by ISO because we have a number of regulations listed on the Microsoft 365 Compliance Manager portal. So I'll filter by ISO, search through and select ISO 27701 2022 version, and then save. Now that I am done saving, I would click next to give my assessment a name of my choice. Use existing, name of my choice. Select the existing group, but for the purpose of this, I'm going to be leaving it as a default group. So I'll fill in the rest of the field and then select next again. Now I am currently at services. I click next, leave it as default value. I'll review my settings and create my assessment. The assessment has now been successfully created, and we should be able to see it now on the drop down list. Having selected this, we can see now it says 56% of assessment actions completed, and currently our point achieved is 0 out of 8,812. Microsoft Managed point achieved is 2,372. That goes to show that there are some work to do. I'll click on the Your Improvement Action tab, and now it's giving me a list of remediation tasks that I can perform, like apply sensitivity label, change computer accounts, classify assets, and all of that. So it is your sole responsibility to go through what all of these improvement actions are. And now currently on my screen you can see it says 0 improvement actions taken. So basically, as a compliance manager, you take a keen look at all of these remediation actions and tasks, and then see how you can apply these technical controls to it. Another interesting thing is you can also assign each of these improvement actions to users who would work on the remediation. So basically, like at this point, you can then decide to delegate and assign duties. You don't have to take up all of the responsibilities. So now I am currently assigning a number of remediation tasks to a user within my tenant. So I would assume that this user is probably the governance manager or the IT department that I know that will be able to work on these controls. And after I have done that, I would wait till these remediation steps are completed, and Microsoft will automatically update this information. And definitely by the next time you refresh the page, if these changes have been effected, the compliance score will definitely increase, and we would see the number of improvement actions that have been taken over time. We can also manage users' access, like adding readers, adding assessors, and all of that. That will be all. Thank you so very much for your time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And see you all on the next one. Bye for now.